And as you know, each and every Tuesday morning, I bring you some incredible stories of women in business from diverse backgrounds, giving us some tips and tricks and some much needed insight into their various fields. I've got a very special womanpreneur in the studio. Kuuka Eshun is an award-winning film director and founder of Filming as Woman Multimedia Productions. Kuuka, what a mouthful. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Helen.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. How's
What
it going?
a colorful start to the new year. I'm loving the earrings.
Thank
It's
you.
when if you go to a function and they don't have a coaster, they don't have a tray, they don't
Or a
have
fan,
a
you know,
fan.
like a hand fan, yeah.
This one crowd, what else? If they don't have a plate. Multiple purpose here, Kuuka. Just whip these off and you have all of these items. But you're looking very vibrant.
Thank you.
I wish I was looking just as vibrant, feeling just as
You're-
vibrant. But
you're very beautiful.
oh, Kuuka, keep
In
it
any
coming.
color.
Keep it coming, keep it coming. But it's good to see you. How was the new year started for you?
Pretty good. It's been well. I've kind of had a more personal time retreat.
Okay.
So I feel very, excited
Okay.
and ready.
Really?
Yeah.
I love to hear that. Sometimes we're not always ready
Yeah.
when the new year rolls
Yeah.
around. We carry some of last year's sadness,
Right.
some of last year's trepidation,
Right.
some of last year's failures into
Right.
2024. But you've had time to maybe shake it off, reflect, and feel refreshed?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't feel like I know and believe that you have to be absolutely intentional about reflection, about letting go, about your visions, about your value. So I actually went on a retreat, like outside of Accra.
Okay.
It was a spiritual retreat.
Nice.
I wear my faith on my sleeve. I'm a Christian,
Nice.
creative. So yeah, that's been like really beautiful to do that. And just get some clarity about, okay, what am I looking forward to this year? Like what are the umbrella of my goals and what's the values that I kind of want to hit this year. So that's just been really powerful for me.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
A good way to start the new year. Refreshing way to start the new year. But let's get stuck straight into womanpreneur.
Yes.
And a womanpreneur, we're constantly wanting to dive into different types of businesses that women in Ghana and beyond are involved in. And so you are an award-winning film director, also founder of Filming as Women Multimedia Productions. Let's take it all the way back. Let's take it back to school. Is that something you always wanted to do as a student? What did you study?
So interesting. So I went to school. I went to Columbus State in Ohio. I went to school, my first year of school. I enrolled in for architecture, and I was like, ooh, one about to do math.
Architecture, you have to do a lot of math.
Architecture, you had to do a lot
my
of math.
goodness,
And I was like,
definitely not for me.
ooh, okay, I know how to draw, I know how to be creative, and I know how to calculate money, but not the extra stuff.
Okay. When it comes to the money, you can calculate it.
Exactly, for sure.
Uh-huh.
So, and then I pivoted into art and science.
Okay.
And then psychological science, emphasis on family dynamics.
Okay.
And I was like, ooh.
I know the American system is so you have majors and minors.
Minors, right.
So what was the major? What was the minor?
So my major was actually going to be art and science. And
Okay.
I was going to do like a minor in psychological science and
Okay.
emphasis on family dynamics. But that's taking me to the science and
Okay.
into like a psychiatrist, a psychologist. I'm like, I do have interest and science is I love science. So, I did well in anything that has to do with writing. As long as it's not calculating, I'm right there at the top.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one.
So anyways, that didn't really work out as I wanted it to. And that's the year that I moved to Ghana in 2017.
Okay.
And then, professionally, my career as a filmmaker began. I've always been a creative. I just didn't, recognize or really attach the medium of filmmaking because I've been doing spoken word all my life.
Okay.
Poetry. I can draw. I can draw you. I can draw. I can paint.
Okay.
Anything that has to do with creativity. As a child, I was really good at it. But in 2017 is really when I discovered the medium of filmmaking. So I kind of like channeled my paintings and my drawing and my writing into film.
Okay.
And that was the first time that I'm like, whoa, this is my call. Like, this is what God wants me to do. I'm a storyteller. I'm a talker. You know, I can fabricate stories.
Okay.
Like, whenever I want.
Make stuff up. You're one of those people,
Exactly.
you'll be sitting in the train and you're looking away wistfully.
Absolutely.
You've already made the scenario
Because
in
I
your
write
mind.
poetry.
I
so
see.
everything in my mind is like, you know, it's like put together in such a, I'm very, what's the word? No? Meticulous. For lack of a better word, I'm very, you know, it's like the story has to have the beginning, the middle, and the end in everything I do. So I'm just like, that's why God gave me this gift to tell African story, beautiful African story.
Beautiful African
colorful,
stories.
vibrant, you know, powerful, and also soft. Because not everyone wants to tell soft stories.
What does that mean?
Because, you know, like often the times in filmmaking, I mean, I've met other directors, you know, we had conversation, other interviews where they're like, Kuuka, you know, why do you tell soft stories? And I feel like what that means is I tell stories that shows love and empathy and, you know, like laughter and joy and just black love and happiness. And I don't know in a few years, but I feel like I'm not the type of director that wants to tell a war story or that wants to tell a story that's like, you know, not to say that I wouldn't tell stories that are heavy to digest, but example, like a war story. There are women directors who want to tell, you know, there's so many things happening in Africa, across the continent, right? Not everything is happy or vibrant or, you know, enjoyable. But I want to stay on the soft side of it. Other people, you know, it's a spectrum. So.
And there's space for everybody. Those that want to go that way can go that way, and others who choose a different path can absolutely do that.
Absolutely.
How difficult or easy was it to break into film directing? So you talk about, you know, studying different things at uni, coming back and finding that, well, this is actually the passion. Practically, what happened? How did things manifest from an idea into real life?
No, I love the word that you used, manifest, because that's really what happened. My journey has really been by the grace and the mercy of God. When I first came to Ghana, I did the film called Stranger to Your Seed, and Stranger to Your Seed was about my dad. It was about forgiveness because I didn't grow up with both my parents. When I moved to America, right after middle school, I went to high school, is when I first met my mom. Like, you know, she'll come back when I was younger to, you know, see me, but I was young and I couldn't really build a connection with her or like, you know, just really understand the dynamics of a mother-daughter relationship. So when I moved to America, it was like, you know, I was a teenager. And then that's the first time I truly like had to start building a connection with him. And my dad was not in my life, like ever. He was deadbeat. Rest in peace, he's dead now.
Okay.
But I made a film because I wanted to let go. There was so much anger and bitterness and so much like, both of you left, you know, like I just, you know, I wouldn't have struggled emotionally, mentally, and all the things that happened to me if I had my parents with me. That was my story for so long. That was my narrative. Like, oh, I'm so angry. Everything bad that happens to me is because my parents weren't there, because they left me for someone else to raise me, you know. So that film was just letting go and
What is the title of that film?
Stranger to Your Seed.
Stranger to Your Seed.
That he was a stranger to his seed. So I directed that. I did a premiere in Ghana in 2018, and it did so well. So many people come out, like, I mean, hundreds of people come out to the Jamestown Cafe to support me. You know, I mean, like, people who I looked up to, because at the time it was year of return.
Yes.
It was December, so like all the diaspora creative, Ghanaian creative, you know, people who have gone ahead of me, even women filmmakers, you know. So that I was like, wow, like for me to premiere my first film and for people to come out and support me in massive numbers, this must mean something. It was kind of like a wake-up call. And I just fell in love with the art of, like, you know, pivoting into filmmaking. And for the first time in my life, I felt fulfillment with creativity when I made the film. And the next year, I did my second film called Artist Act of Love. And that I put into film festivals, and I won 14 international film festivals.
Oh my
across
goodness.
the world.
How incredible.
I know.
Incredible. 14, 1-4.
Yep.
My goodness.
Even in Hollywood too, we won an
Wow.
award. It was
Wow.
massive. And that's when I really knew that God was leading me to a path that I was truly called for.
What is the distinction between, say, film producing and film directing? Are there any overlaps for the uninitiated? For some people like myself, I don't know the technicalities.
I know. It's
What
so
is,
interesting.
who is a film director? What does the actual role look like practically?
As a film director.
Yeah.
So film directors are basically, or typically, not in all circumstances, but typically the ones that come up, with the idea, with the story, they birth it, right? They come up with the creative vision. Okay, this is how it should look. I want the film to be set in 1955. I want the film to be set in the future, in 2050. They come up with the creative vision and the core idea of the story.
Okay.
And then you can decide to work with a writer. But often the times a lot of directors double up as writers and directors.
I see.
Because they come up with a story. But for someone like me, I'm open to collaboration. So I can come up with a story and I can have somebody else write, because in different cases.
Okay.
And with a producer, you run the entire show of bringing the director's ideas to life.
Okay.
So a director works with a producer. The producer's job is, just hire the people. Okay, what do we do? Who do we need? How many people do we need?
Got it.
What are we eating? If we're traveling, where are we sleeping? What hotels? All that kind of little details. That's the money person.
Okay.
The producer gets the idea brought to life. The director just, so director actually is kind of your producer, your makeup artist, you're an editor, you're everything on set because everybody's relying on your creative idea to bring it to life.
That makes sense.
So you're a little bit of everybody on set, basically.
What is the filmmaking scene like in Ghana at the moment? Is it reviving itself? Is it picking up? Because I think we've seen a bit of a slump in recent times.
Right.
Is it picking up? We're seeing some of you do some really creative things,
Right.
but is that far and few between? Tell us more about what's going on in the landscape.
Absolutely. I believe that we're at a point in our creative industry where we're, just beginning to scratch the surface of the new age. I feel like we're like the new age filmmakers, creatives, right? And I always give shout out to people like Shirley Manson and Layla Johnson and, all the people that have gone, Victoria Kwashi, I don't know if you know her, Stab in the Back.
Oh, I see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
It's been a while.
I know. She's actually my auntie so far. She's married to my mom's brother.
Okay. It's been a while. I remember
Yeah.
that. This is years ago.
Exactly. So I feel like those women set, and I'm saying women because I'm a woman, and so I can only speak from my perspective as as a woman filmmaker in the industry. I think that we're at the gate of a new thing where we are like, okay. For people like me, they call me an experimental filmmaker because I don't follow the rules of filmmaking.
Okay.
I'm not making films based on, oh my gosh, it has to be, dialogue. It has to be this, it has to be that. I'm very experimental. I'm very abstract and creative. And that's because I don't want to be put in a box. I want to tell stories that are genuine, authentic, and new. So I feel like a lot of us are navigating what this new age filmmaking looks like, especially with people my age, millennials and people that's coming before us, Gen Zs. I think that we're all trying to navigate it. But there's a lot of hope I see because people are willing to move out of the spectrum that, people they've given us for so many years. So I think that people are doing well. I mean, a short film from Ghana just went to Cannes. That's incredible.
A big deal.
Exactly.
That's
so
the French Film Festival.
That's French Film Festival. That's
Amazing
like the Oscars, right, of Europe.
That's right.
like the Oscars of Europe.
That's right.
So,
It's a very big deal.
yeah, so I'm like, we're doing well.
We're on the right track. We just
are.
need more and more and more. Sometimes people think, maybe there's too many people doing this. There's not enough of us doing this. In
Exactly.
fact, we need more and more
There's
people
not.
in the space.
Yep.
Now,
It's not.
there's a question I ask all womenpreneurs from different business backgrounds, and it's starting capital. So, for example, those who are doing dressmaking, those in consulting businesses, for a path like film directing, how capital intensive is it if you wanted to go into it beyond having an idea or having a dream or a concept? What does one need to do to bring that idea to fruition?
So, no, this is a great question. So I'm a film director, but I also have my production company. But a lot of directors don't have their own production company.
Okay.
It's just, a dream that I have. It's a vision that I have to have my own production company, train a bunch of, other younger filmmakers, especially women. It's just a dream. So I feel like you really have to ask yourself, okay, I want to be a film director. Do I want to partner with producers? Do I want to partner with production houses? Do I want to own my own company? Do I want to work with executive producers? There's a lot of questions you have to ask yourself to even say, okay, I want to be a filmmaker. Where do I start? What's your vision? Sometimes you can just start by being a contract director, where maybe, I don't know, Vodafone or MTN or TV3, whatever. Anybody, they want to make a commercial, they call you, they're like, okay, you know what, this is a contract, go ahead and, direct this commercial, this documentary, this film with us. But now for someone like me, I get my resources from executive producers or companies that come to me to work with me.
Okay.
So it really kind of depends on what your goal and your vision is.
Okay.
Because having a production company is a whole different ball game. Because I have a production company, I produce, but I hire other producers to work with me to produce under my production company.
Okay. And this is the Filming as Woman Multimedia Productions. How old is the business?
So it started before it was Show Your Reality.
Okay.
It started about 5 years ago.
Okay.
I think, or 5 years ago. Filming as Woman is just 1 year. I just kind of pivoted.
Okay.
Because again, the goal, the vision has changed. So I'm just okay, this is more like Show Your Reality is good. It's still my, it's still my thing. I shoot my reality. I want Africans to shoot their reality. But now it's called Filming as Woman. So
Filming as Woman.
Yeah. It's just
very exciting.
A change of name.
Okay, but the concept is still very much the same.
Exactly.
And I mean, is this a lucrative business? Does it take time to get some money in your pocket? But for your upcoming film directors who are tuned in thinking, actually, this is exactly what I would love to be doing, but they're thinking about, making money. That's why we go into business.
Absolutely.
Is it lucrative?
Of course. Filmmaking is very rewarding if you are, you understand, number one, what is your value? What's your goal? What do you... Because you just can't go into filmmaking, right? Filmmaking is a very interesting business because maybe in a year you can have maybe just 3 projects or 2 projects, and those 2 or 3 projects can be enough to take care of you for maybe 1 year or even 2 years. That's how filmmaking is.
Okay.
Or maybe sometimes in a year, some people don't even get any job. So depending on, with the festive season, October, there's certain months that many different companies across the world, they want to produce stuff.
Okay.
Right now, beginning of the year, everyone has their budget set.
Okay.
They're looking for filmmakers. What can we do? The content, the documentaries, the film. So I feel like if you truly understand the business of filmmaking, and for someone like me, I am a massive creative mind.
Okay.
So I try to work with business people that understand the numbers way more than I do.
Okay.
My stronghold is the creativity. So collaboration is a huge way to, to make money when it comes to filmmaking. You need to work with your producers that know what you're doing. You need to work with, the people that understand the numbers, your line producers. And I've paid every single one of my bills. I live off of my filmmaking.
Okay.
So it's
rewarding.
Pretty exciting. Yeah. I'm pretty
Amazing
excited.
stuff. Well, time check. It is some 4 minutes to the top of the hour, 10 a.m. 4 minutes, and then we're saying adios, au revoir, and goodbye. Time certainly flies when you're having fun. Well, my woman premiere this morning, Kuuka Eshun, is an award-winning film director, giving us some insight into her passion and how it, puts money into her pocket. She looks very expensive this morning, so I know that things are certainly going well.
Oh yeah, I'm very expensive.
Hey, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. This one, dear, shots fired, and now you're sending out the signal to the wider world. Kuuka, before I let you go, it's okay. I understand.
Oh, I'm an expensive working woman.
Okay.
Working woman.
Okay.
I work for my, I like good quality stuff, and I work.
We won't digress
by
too
myself.
much. By herself.
And the grace of God.
And the grace of, okay, so I say all of this put together by Kuuka Eshun and Kuuka Eshun and God. It's a Kuuka Eshun God collaboration.
No, it's first God and me. I'm just assistant.
You are just by the by. Just the assistant. Okay, before I let you go though, what are your goals for the year 2024? What are you hoping for yourself and for the business in general?
Well, every time people ask me, "Oh, what are you working on?" I'm like, I am my greatest project. I will continue to work on myself, who I am. It's important to be in this business. To make it, you must have really strong relationships, and with the relationship comes good character. That's what people don't understand. If people are going to recommend you, if people are going to talk about you, if people are going to put you in the forefront or bring you to the table, it depends on your character. So I feel like if any young person is listening to me out there, it's more important that you have a great character, because that's definitely going to shape the relationships you have going forward. So what I'm working on this year, I'm working on very exciting things.
Okay.
Some documentaries, some films.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah, most importantly, I'm working on the inside.
Amazing
of, the film director.
And that is great advice. Sometimes people want some hefty life advice or financial advice, and really the easier you are to work with, the easier it is for you to put some money in your pocket. Everybody wants to work with somebody they can get along with, who's understanding, who's adaptable, and all of that. So Kuuka, I think that's great advice for the morning. Thank you so much for stopping by, sharing your story. Of course, as you unveil these new goodies for the world to see, don't be a stranger. Give 3FM the scoop. We're BFFs now.
I will. Thank you so much for having me, Helen.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I know you're going to have an incredible year.
Thank you. I will. So please watch out. If you want to ask me any questions on filmmaking, follow me on my... DM me on my Instagram.
Yes, what's the Instagram? Plug that for us. Yeah,
it's KUUKSSS.
KUUK.
SSS. Just send me a DM and then we can talk from there.
Okay, is there anything for Filming as Woman? Have you set up
plug
that for us.
Filming as Woman, that's it.
Filming as Woman. All one word. We can find you on Instagram.
On Instagram.
Fantastic stuff, Kuuka. Thank you so much. Well, this is where we wrap up.
Oh shit. Hey, let's go.
And what a morning it has been so far. Time check is exactly 10 a.m. and this is where we bid you farewell. Tomorrow when we return, there is of course more. My name is Helen Apia Ampofo. On behalf of the rest of the crew, do have an amazing